Okay, welcome back to the RaidCall EMS 1, Week 1 Cup, of course, 4 cups in a row, then a playoffs, and then, of course, our land finals. We're going to have 4 of these throughout the year for $156,000. Courtesy, of course, of our fantastic sponsor, RaidCall. Make sure you go and support them, download the software, and use it. It's awesome, by the way. We are almost ready to go live for our grand final. It's going to be Epsilon versus M Faculty. Perhaps not the final that we expected, that many people expected, but nevertheless, two fantastic teams for different reasons. One is that Epsilon currently ranked number 2 in the A Series, so that just shows you that you can get involved in the A Series, you can come through, you can play in the EMS 1, and you can make your way through to a grand final already. And one of these two teams is going to pick up 100 points, which will help them significantly towards a place in the playoffs and potentially in the land finals as well. They're currently ranked in 2. Dreamy, who I was calling Dreamy, of course, in the last game, is actually Schneider, who was formerly of Absolute Legends. So he's been recently brought in. Really helped them solidify their team. Not really any major results for the Epsilon guys, but definitely a decent team to watch out for. And they're just showing right now in the EMS1 the kind of quality that they possess. In Faculty, completely different really. A long-running history through Counter-Strike Source. They were a reasonably successful clan back in Source. I wouldn't call them an absolute top team. Certainly a top team in Germany. I think they finished number 2 in EPS Germany, maybe 3 years in a row. And also, obviously, more recently in Counter-Strike Go, they were 4th at ESWC, losing out 2-0 to NIP in the semi-finals. But other than that, they've kind of been steadily improving, and they've had some up and down results, but they've been playing CSGO an awful lot. One of the most active teams out there. Recently beat Very Games, of course, and now, today, have knocked out Ninjas in Pyjamas in the semi-finals. So, it is time for the grand final. I'm just going to double-check and make sure that these guys are actually ready. And it does look like they are, well, they're kind of it. What's this? Yeah, okay. Well, we are ready. Schneider says he hates it when Red Eye goes to the store. I haven't gone to the store. I have not even stepped out. Actually, I lie. I did step out for a few minutes just to check. By the way, admins, if you are listening and you're watching, feel free to go ahead and start the stream, the match. We are ready, so when they're ready, we'll drop you in. In fact, actually, let's do that now and drop you in because it does look as if they are about ready to go live. Yeah, I did step outside just for a minute just to see what the weather was doing because, believe it or not, I've been in Cologne now for 4 weeks and it's snowed or been snowed or snow on the ground for almost that entire time, except for the last few days when we've had no snow. I went outside for a little break and a breath of fresh air and something else, and guess what? There's like 2 inches of snow out there already, so that's just typical. So, warm-up about to end. And we will get underway for the RaidCall EMS 1 Grand Final for Week 1. This initial cup value $1,000, 600 to winner, 300 to second, and 100 to third. Knife will start things off. I should also tell you that this is best of 3 in the Grand Final as well. We'll start things off on Train, that's Epsilon's choice. Mirage will be map 2. That was chosen by N Faculty, no surprise there. And should we need it, a third and final deciding map will be on Inferno. So here we go then, for the knife round. I always favour the horse racing commentary, I think it's quite fun. Joe particularly does it very well. I'm not quite so good, so I'm just going to commentate it in a very boring Englishman's voice. So there we go, with a wonderful knife strike on the back of one of the Epsilon Razor players, and Kirby is now making his way forward with a lovely slice onto one of the other Epsilon players, and indeed Kirby picks up a second, having tipped his bowler hat at the man and taken a strike out of his cup of tea to strike down a man in front of him. They think it's all over, and with Locks just waiting to be sliced by the knife, it looks like he's actually checking out his stainless steel made in Sheffield blade before deciding to bludgeon someone to death with it. However, that is not happening just yet. In fact, now Locks has managed to pick up a first kill and gets a second one. And I would like to get excited, but I'm in a sort of Englishman's sort of boring bowler hat, cup of tea kind of way. And there it is. I don't know how to do knife rounds. I mean, what do you do with them? What do you do with them? It's just, they're just, I don't know, necessary but boring. I mean, someone just flip a coin and get on with it. So, we are waiting for them to restart. Unsurprisingly, Epsilon having won that night round with Logs, who's just messing around in the server and making me giggle. Seriously though, he won a 2v1, and on Train, on Knives, it can make a difference to get that start on CT. It's a heavily biased CT map. It is in fact statistically the most biased CT map, even heavier than Nuke. So far in the, what, 6 months? Yeah, I guess we're around 6 months now into the life of Counter-Strike Go. And unsurprisingly, I suppose it is the most heavily CT biased map. It pretty much was in Source as well, though we had some odd results in Source at times. I seem to remember having a 15-0 on a T side, and then the other team went back and did the same thing. Bizarre. Anyway, we are underway, and we are live for the RaidCall EMS 1 Grand Final Week 1, Epsilon versus M Faculty. It's Sweden versus Germany. And it's Kirby that kicks things off with the first kill of the round. Bomb already planted on the outer bomb side. I'm having a bit of a scuffle to try and get down Pop Dog there, and instead Flusher's now going to have to come back and try and take this from the connector. Won't actually pick up the frag on Asmo, despite the fact that Asmo looked like he was flashed inside that bomb site. They've not lost a single man right now, and well, Mantis is not going to have anything to do with Jesper inside that Pop Dog area either, and Asmo now, the most he can really, Schneider, the most he can really do is just run away. He's got 8 points of health. There are 5 men alive. Are they going to all get away from this bomb alive? I think they might just about do it, you know. No, not quite. Mantis just dying right at the end, and so did Schneider, so kind of pointless him holding onto that weapon. And in Faculty, open things up in round 1 with the pistol win. Just take you through the 2 teams as well while we're at it. Jesper Locks, Zelos, Flusher and Snyder, who was Dreamy, by the way, in the semi-finals. My bad, I completely missed the fact that he was actually Snyder. Mantis, Asmo, Disruptor, Kirby and SMN in for N Faculty. Round 2 looks like a quick push down this back hallway. Flusher did pick up the first one, but Asmo's going to get the second one as they drop into the bomb site right now. It's Kirby just firing off down in towards that bomb site. They have the advantage of guns, of course. Mantis got himself a second of the round. Only SMN has been disposed of so far. That was the kill by Flusher. Disruptor also gets himself one. A little bit of damage by the grenade. Still managed to hold on to 4 men. Mantis gets himself a second in the round, and this should be a fairly straightforward kill on the outside for Locks, actually on Disruptor. But that's going to be all she wrote for the round. And Locks with a little fake move up the ladder. That's not going to fool Mantis, absolutely. No chance of that one winning out. 3 from him for a hat-trick on the eco round, and then Faculty move into a 2-0 lead. A bit of revenge, of course, for Mantis. He had his little brother playing for alternate yesterday, MNL, who lost to NIP, so he sort of replayed the family values of got him some family revenge, if you like, today. This one's going to be a bit of a roll right now, only Flusher remaining, again on the eco. And just going to get some extra cash here for the plant. And they're doing plenty of damage, Epsilon, but just not picking up the kills so far. And this should be a 3rd consecutive round for M Faculty, and on a map like this, every single round you can gain on T side is valuable. Every single round. Doesn't matter how you get them. Doesn't matter whether they come from the ecos, whether they come from anti-ecos, whether they come from pistol rounds. However you can get them is fine. Flusher just causing a bit of a nuisance, actually. Has got himself 3 in a row. That's fantastic from Flusher. He will die with the bomb blast on the outside bomb train, but that's an expensive round, and they didn't need to do that in Faculty. Got themselves caught, really. 3 pistol kills for Flusher. Gives him a nice score on the scoreboard. Anyway, 4 and 2. Only the Locks adding a single frag to that board alongside his team, but they are now on a bye. Mantis currently 5 and 0 on top of the scoreboard. We got a 3-2 split. 2 looking to Ivy. Disruptor going to try and cause some grief on the outside. They've left the bomb behind them as well. They might, because Jesper has dropped 2 as they come down that front ramp on the inside bomb site. And with bomb down now, and 3 men over at Ivy, that's going to cause a little bit of grief. In fact, yeah, Disruptor already coming back towards that bomb. I'm not quite sure that Jesper knew that the bomb was... No, he wouldn't have done. They left it back in the White Hall, so at least they did that. It looked initially, to me, like they'd gone down ramp with it to push, but that's been an odd thing to have done. Well, opening kill is by Disruptor, so that's useful. SMN's going to lose his life at the bottom of this ramp. Lox disposes of him with the AWP. HE comes in from Flush, and Zelos will clean house. And that will be a first round on the board for Epsilon. Now pulling things back to 1-3. Round number 5. And I have to say, Joe, if you're listening, or you're watching on the VOD, miss you, mate. Jesper starting things off with a nice triple at the bottom of Pop. Asmo finally getting rid of him. And they are on a partial buy here as well, in Faculty. Or are they? Actually, they might not be. They might have been on an eco, actually. I didn't spot them at the start of the round, but Asmo picked up, obviously got himself an M4, so no, it was an eco. Asmo just 2 points of health, and an HE into Pop will obliterate Disruptor. And no problem at all here. This is easy for Asmo. 2 health, 4 men to find. And won't last very long, of course, with just those sliver of health. So 3-2. And Epsilon winning their own eco that round. Now we're on a full buy against a full buy. And we've got that familiar looking lineup of weaponry now for Epsilon. Not a standard set of weapons, of course, but 3 M4s, an AUG, and an AWP. In the hands of Lox. Zelos preferring that AUG. And has proved very effective with it as well. 3-2 the score right now. 2-1-2 split again with those 2 over at Ivy, 1 on short and 2 going... actually, there's 1 going White Horse because Asmo is actually sitting at the bottom of Pop. Kirby's grabbed the bomb here and he's going to try and make his way out into that outer bomb site. It's SMN who picks up the first kill of the round, and the second, and the third, in fact, before Mantis now makes his way out towards that outer bomb site to cover. So a great round from SMN. He's actually got 4 in the round. And is now up high. Can he get the ace? They were on a gun round as well, so great round from SMN. He's got 34 health. Are we going to see our first ace of the final? No, we're not. Flusher takes his head off. Kirby gets the revenge frag. And then Faculty get a 4th round on the board. As I said earlier, for those of you that aren't familiar with Counter-Strike of any form, every round as a T side on train is absolutely massive. Plenty of gaming history amongst these teams in the past where they've won all 15 on CT and then lost all 15 when they've switched. That's kind of how it is sometimes. Right now, in Faculty lead 4-2 after 6. That's an excellent result. Got to keep it going though. 3 men sitting back in the long from spawn, and Asmo and Kirby again just working that end of White Hallways and potentially bottom of Pop, but nothing doing so far. Zelos seems to feel that he may well be coming his way, but they're playing this one a little bit more patiently. 55 seconds of the round remaining. No one down from either side, just a little bit of health knocked off from Disruptor. Well, actually half health knocked down from Disruptor. A bit of grenade damage came into SMN, but that's just 14 points of health. He won't care about that. Flash is gone, but do you know what? Is this a fake, or are they actually going to push? They are going to push. It's Zelos that picks up the first and the second. Great couple of shots from him. Only Disruptor replying back. But they have managed to break out into this bomb site in the outer area right now. Schneider and Zelos will shut things down, though, and have none of that whatsoever in a 4v2. Epsilon then win round number 7. Reduce the cap to 4-3. Now, just a reminder for you as well, if you are just tuning in, this is the grand final of the RaidCall EMS 1 Week 1 Cup between Epsilon Gaming and Faculty. Faculty having disposed of the world champions in the semi-final. Ninjas in pyjamas. Epsilon having gotten rid of the one of the top French teams, Imaginary Gaming. Just 2 men left on this eco. I don't think they'll be standing too much longer. As long as Flusher can engage the main, that is, anyway. Finally does so. Last man alive will be Disruptor, which Schneider's going to find. And he's going to claim the frag. 4-4. Nicely tied up here, but the difference is Epsilon really now need to start pushing on. Getting themselves some rounds on the board without reply to try and build up the advantage over their German enemies. Starting things off nicely with the wall bang AWP. Mantis replying back on Jesper, and then Schneider with a double at the top of short ramp. Gives his team a 2-man advantage here. A 4 versus 2. Can he make it a 4 versus 1? He can. That's 3. Number 4 is shortly be confirmed, surely here by Schneider, but Disruptor's had to stage down there very slowly in the smoke. We could see him with the ghost on, but Schneider now has a chance to pick up number 4 and does so. Nice 4-man from Schneider, the former Absolute Legends player. Gives his team a 5-4 lead overall now, and moves to 8-3 himself on the scoreboard. Jesper with 8-8 after a good start. Flusher 7-3, Locks 5-4, Zelos 5-4, and Faculty right now struggling to stay in positive KD. Mantis 6-5, Asmo 4-6, Disruptor 5-8. Kirby 3-6, SMN 4-8, and we've got Disruptor starting things off early here. Locks has picked up yet another wall bang. Can he get a second one here? Ooh, that was close. Through the bottom of the train, and quite blinded by the smoke as well down there. Jesper's picked himself up one now. Zello shutting down SMN, and Zelos tidying things up with the kill on Mantis for a 6-4 lead. And this is pretty much how it should go. When you're the CT side on train, it should be round after round after round. And that's exactly what Epsilon have started to do. 4 in a row, in fact, for the lead of 6-4. Just holding back right now, so a little bit of strat time for M Faculty. They're on an eco, they don't have to rush. And I've seen this used plenty of times by Rattlesnake in the past. Team leader for the overrated individuals, as they're now called. Using that strat time. No need to hurry. Meanwhile, Epsilon setting themselves with just the one inside, just to cover any eco rush, but there isn't going to be one of those, and this time round the AWP doesn't land the shot through the wall bang at the back of the train. Schneider and Jesper, though, pick up a headshot piece. Now Locks lands his AWP shot. Flusher with his first as round. In fact, they've all picked up one except for Zelos, so presumably Zelos picks up one here. No, actually it's Jesper that does, and that's 7-4. Round number 12 of the possible 30. 15 of the half, of course. Here, 4 men all sitting one side now. Mantis is going to make his way outside and going to try and make the fast plant here. Jesper's going to pop round and does pick up 1-2 in a row, in fact, and then fires through the... Oh, that's an awful flash from Flusher. Deary me. Got away with it because it doesn't make any difference. Jesper's going to come in and Disruptor now from the back. He's going to pick out Jesper on the bomb site, and SMN now picks up another one. This is a 2 versus 2. They haven't got much health between them, but they might just pull this one off, you know. Zelos then downs SMN. Last man alive is now going to be Disruptor. Just cover the bomb and let the other man go and run him down. Indeed, that's what they've done. A little bit messy at the end there. Nice fast rush plant from Mantis. Seen that a couple of times. And Flusher, yes, his HP Disruptor 4. is the answer. And 8-4 is the score. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. 12 down, 3 to go in the first half of the RaidCall EMS 1 Week 1 Cup, Spring 2013. Plenty more Counter-Strike gun action of high quality to look forward to. Next week, make sure you're tuned in, 7 o'clock Central European time for Week 2's RaidCall EMS 1. And next Thursday at 7 CET, we'll have the second week semi-final and the grand final for you live here on ESL TV. Right now, Epsilon leading 8-4 on CT side train against N Faculty, who I would have said were possibly the slight favourites of this game, purely based on experience and the amount of games they've played in Go so far. Take nothing away from Epsilon, they've been very good so far, and very different, it has to be said. Some unusual tactics and some unusual weapon choices. Schneider just popping the head off of Disruptor, picks up the kill on Asmo as well, and will get himself the defuse. And Epsilon rack up round number 9, and that's 7 without reply, and that's exactly what you've got to do on CT side train. Wouldn't surprise me to see them take the last couple of rounds either for an 11-4 half, and that's okay. And Faculty will be okay with 11-4, and Epsilon probably won't be too upset with it either, so it's probably going to be a fair enough score for either team. I know that sounds crazy to lose 11-4, but trust me, 4 rounds on T-side train is absolutely fine, still keeps you in the game. Schneider kicking things off again. Mantis again has gone for that fast plant on the outside, and it didn't quite work out last time round. They got down to 2 men remaining, but this time they've got some backups. Schneider, though, not being able to put up with anything from Mantis inside that bomb site, and disposes of him. Jesper and Zanos combine to pick up 2 more, and only Kirby has replied back with anything in the round at the end, and it will be a straightforward defuse for Lox. And selection of weaponry being purchased and picked up to save the purchases in the next round. And we head into round 15 with Epsilon leading 10-4. Quick check on the scoreboard. Jesper 16-9, Schneider is 13-6, Zelos 12-4, also having a good game. Lox 9-4, Flusher 8-5, for In Faculty Disruptor 7-13, Mantis 6-10, Asmo 5-11, 4-11 for Kirby, and 6 right at the bottom of the scoreboard for SMN. As Disruptor and Kirby get themselves a frag apiece, they give themselves the advantage, 4 versus 3. 80 seconds of the round remaining, so plenty of time here for them to change things up. Let's just have a quick look. In fact, look at that B bomb site, just Flusher in the back hall. They've got SMN who's rushing towards them as well, and Mantis disposes of Flusher at the end of the hallway, and there's a chance for them to get into this bomb site now. Loxton, long range, the smoke is put down, really good defensive smoke put in place. Bomb will now be planted at the bottom of the middle train. Now, SMN, ooh, just about rotated round in time, but I don't think Xenos spotted him, he didn't, and had his back to him down that short ramp. And now it's a 3 versus 1, Lox on his own here. Has to go for it at short range, won't be able to, he's only got a pistol in hand. And In Faculty pick up a very valuable 5th round at the half on T side. So, good halves are exchanged. And let's just come back out of that for a moment. We'll rejoin the match in just a moment. You're tuned in to the RaidCall EMS 1 Grand Final, Week 1. Of course, Epsilon having fought their way through to the Grand Final from the lower half of the one side. You know, it is one bracket, as it were, but the lower half of it. And more impressively, perhaps, N Faculty coming through against Ninjas in Pyjamas in the semi-final, all the way through the upper side of the bracket. Hopefully we're just going to go straight back into the game and get underway. Although it's not looking quite like that just now. Just run you through the scores actually from the first half. Schneider 14-7, 16-10 from Jesper, 12-5 from Zanos, 10-5 Lox, 7-13 from SMN. And we are ready to go back live. Schneider 14-7, as we said before, having a decent game. Leading his team forward. On the other side, 8-14, 7-11, 6-11, 5-11, 7-13. All pretty much of a muchness, really, for Epsilon as they switch round. For In Fact, as they switch round now let's see what Epsilon have got in the way of strats. Initially, it seems that Flusher is feeling pretty confident. Has put in a perfect flash inside the bomb site, but Mantis is well placed. Will pick up the opening kill, replied back by Schneider. Big round this one. And it's 4 versus 4. Bomb planted on the inner bomb site already. Asmo and some team damage coming on Jesper. That's going to annoy the crap out of him. And long-range shots from that back hallway. Now, Connector, Disruptor, shutting one down. Couldn't get the second, though. 2 from Schneider in a row. Kirby's above him, though. It's now a 1 versus 1 thanks to Schneider. He's having a monster round with 4. Oh, it doesn't matter, though. The bomb defuse comes in from SNN. And is Schneider going to get his ace on a non-round? No, he's not. He's going to get 4. But unfortunately for him, the bomb was defused. And in Faculty, win a massive pistol round. And that's 2 out of 2 for pistols. In fact, I've only seen Epsilon win 1 pistol round now in their last 4. Big round by Schneider, but not quite enough. Now, Mantis is going to fill his boots here, is he? No, not quite, actually. Kirby's going to pick up 2 of those who popped down into that ramp inside bomb site. In fact, Kirby's picked himself up 3 now. Last man alive will be Zelos, who's on the bomb train, but I don't think he has the bomb. No, he doesn't. And just standing there waiting to be killed. Come and get me, boys. And Kirby wraps things up. And that's made his scoreboard look a little bit better as well. He's 10 and 12 now. Mantis still tops for his team. And Schneider on 19 and 8 after that 4-man in the first round of the second half. Underway in round 18. Have the buy that early, really, considering how well they've done with kills and plants. And they've already picked up 3 here. Have Epsilon. And that's danger. If you're an in-faculty player right now. Just Mantis and Kirby remaining. And confused about which bomb site as well, I think, because actually Mantis went on the inner bomb site and was looking to go towards Pop, so maybe he did know it was outside. Pretty sure he would have done. And Kirby is now last man alive, 41 points of health, jumps right into the path of Schneider and picks up the frag. And now, is this going to be a flash and then a defuse? No, it's not. I didn't want to risk anything now. I think he just wants to try and get away with a gun. And rightly so, really. 15 points of health. And what can he find down here? Well, he's got a choice of M4 or AK. They're just about going to be okay. Yeah, they're fine. And Kirby survives as well. So 11-7. Epsilon just eking out a round here and there will do for them on this second half, but they're all going to be tricky ones. So every round counts. And in Faculty, won't want to lose too many more of these. They want to do what Epsilon did and put some rounds together on the board. Apart from the last round of the second half, Epsilon went 9 straight without reply. And Faculty would like to do the same here. Short-range pistol shot, headshot from Asmo comes in. Only kill of the round so far. And Faculty have a couple of AKs, just the 2 it seems, with Kirby and Asmo. Full buy, pretty much a full buy for their opponents, but not working out for them. Mantis picks up the first one. Here goes Flusher and Zelox, though. They're going to come in for 2 in a row without reply. Asmo getting 1 more back. It's a 2 versus 2 now. 3 in a row from Asmo after he takes off the head of Flusher. And it's now 1 versus 1. Zelos versus Disruptor, who's not got to kill this round either. And switches away from the AK, but is going to be forced up the ladder and gets easily picked off by Zelos. And the 1v1 rounds go the way of Epsilon, just as they did in the semi-final, in fact. And in Faculty, having no joy whatsoever on that partial. And slip another round back to Epsilon. That's 2.5 already, and we've only played 4. Make that, yeah, 4. Full buy this time round. Asmo is tooled up with AWP, as is Schneider, and it's Schneider who opens things up. AWP to AWP, eye to eye. And Epsilon have the pick they wanted. taking a little bit of... actually, it wasn't Locks, I don't... yeah, it was Locks that took a little bit of fire, but it doesn't matter. Jesper's combined to pick up 2 here for Epsilon. Kirby's now last man standing inside the bomb site. Is going to get dropped by a headshot from Zelos. And Epsilon are absolutely steamrolling through this grand final in the first map. It is their map choice, of course, on Train. And we will move over to Mirage for map 2, which was chosen by Faculty. No surprise, they were very good on it. And have been very good on it. And Eco this time round. Mantis, he's very brave at times, isn't he? Runs out with the bomb to get it planted in the outer bomb site. This time he's a CT, just runs straight out, no hassle whatsoever. Xenox picks up the entry kill. Locks and Flusher reply back as well behind them to restore the advantage. They haven't actually lost the player, but Schneider might as well be dead. He's only got 4 points of health. And Locks will finish Asmo off on another Eco Bash, 14-7. 2 required to win map 1. 10-5 at the half, 14-7 right now, so 4-2 up on the half as well. And a very dominant display by Epsilon. Where does that put them in Sweden? I wonder. Such strong players, of course, coming from the Scandinavian countries in Counter-Strike Go. Not just Sweden either. They, of course, have been dominant. Absolute legends have shown flashes of brilliance, so have Lemon Dogs and now Epsilon. Is there any end in sight to the domination by the Swedes? If Nip don't get to the final, they send someone else. Bomb plant coming in from Flusher now. It's 4 versus 1. Epsilon's game to lose right now, but don't get too excited. It's best of 3. There'll be another chance for Faculty, even if they go down as they look like they will be going down in this game, and it is map point, not match point, map point at 15-7. Excellent play from Epsilon yet again. Been terrific. So 8 match points then for the first map in this best of 3 grand final. RaidCall EMS 1 Week 1 Cup. 3 more cups to come over the next 3 weeks. Hopefully we'll have Joe back in the hot seat with you next week alongside me as well. That'll be nice to cast alongside Joe again. Haven't done that in a while. Meanwhile, Faculty pick up a little bit of resistance here in what could be their final round. It is 3 versus 2 with the bomb planted. I can't see how they can get back into this, but SMN's going to still carry on, and Asmo's come back in with one. AG back towards SMN. It's now a 1 versus 1. Can Asmo clutch the round and stop the rot? Yes, he can! He's flashed completely. He has managed to kill Flusher, and as long as he's got a kit, he'll be absolutely fine. In fact, he hasn't got a kit, and he doesn't need one. He was over there far quicker than I thought. And this should be absolutely fine. Indeed, it will be fine. And that'll be 15-8. So there's 1 match point down. 1 saved by the Germans. Yeah, it will be great to get back to casting with Joe again. It feels like it's been so long. And it'll be fantastic to have Joe, don't call me Joe, Joe Miller, back in the studio. If only for the fact that it can produce. Mantis over the other side of the map has already got himself the opening frag. Flusher replies back. Mantis down Schneider at long range. Asmo and SMN have also combined. They're making fast work of this round. And they've got to be careful here, you know, because if Faculty start building up a bit of resistance, money and momentum, Epsilon might not have wrapped this up just yet. And remember, they're on T side, so they do have the more difficult side to get that final round. Plenty of chances still left though, but this round looks like it's slipping away from them. Xenos is last man alive with 78 health points. And seemingly all the exits are covered. He's going to be legged and then picked off by Asmo. And 15-9. Just easing back in. Faculty not giving up. I like that. They could have just laid down and rolled over and given the map up and moved on to map 2, cleared their thoughts and got back into the game in a positive frame of mind, but they weren't in any mood to just let Epsilon roll through them. And instead are now putting up some resistance. Is it too little too late? Well, maybe not. Kirby picks off Zelos easily. And Mantis has also got himself one now as well. Locke's just trying to make his way through the back halls in towards this bomb site. I'm not entirely sure they've worked out that he's there. Flusher is also in the back halls, but it's a 5 versus 3 right now. Asmo setting his sights on anyone that decides to try and challenge him via ramp. SMN is set outside. And Schneider's AWP is trained on Ivy right now, where he does spy one. And switched away from it, so he might have had to switch to that AK that was on the floor. And look at this, Flusher's going to come face to face through this smoke with Asmo any second now when that smoke fades. Asmo's actually going to start firing off to the right hand side and does get the frag, gets the second one as well. Fantastic counter strike from Asmo. Schneider now the last man alive and has exchanged his AWP for an AK and is not using it particularly effectively right now, it has to be said. Kirby gets himself his second of the round and the gap comes down to 15-10. Only a draw possible for End Faculty, which would send us to overtime. But they haven't given up on this just yet. Let's just see what these strategies are right now. It's fairly standard. Well, Flusher's actually going to make his way out and make his way towards the bomb site pretty early on, you know. And that's a Mantis trick, but SMN and Asmo having none of that. Get themselves a frag apiece. SMN might get himself a second. Indeed he does with the headshot in on Jesper. 5 versus 1 now. Locks his last man standing and has picked himself up a frag on Kirby. SMN now will make his way back inside, will he? No, not quite. So Locks is the last man alive on that inner bomb site. He's just creeping along towards connector. There isn't anyone in there just yet either, although there is a man just outside, which is Mantis. Locks just checking to his left and to his right. They're pretty well set on this outer bomb site. They'll know he's coming from connector as well. Crossfires are set up nicely. Locks picks up his second of the round though, and well, he comes raining down on top of him, perfectly placed by Mantis, and that will be 15-11. Things starting to slip away from the Swedes right now. They're going to have to eco this one. And as we check the scoreboard, 17-18 for Asmo. Just starting to come back towards KD positive efficiency. None of his team are actually positive right now. In fact, Schneider 22-15, 17-14, 21-17, 20-11 for Zelos, 16-13 for Locks. It's the worst it gets. They're just using a bit of strat time in T-spawn right now whilst they're on an eco. I'm mildly worried that that's crashed actually. It does look like it's crashed. Unfortunately, we are going to have to try and fix that. So let's just see if I can try and rejoin at a very, very crucial moment as well. So apologies for that. These things happen, I guess. And let's just see. Yeah, it's not actually getting me back into the game. So it was poor. It was poised on a knife edge. 15-12, and let's just see now if we can get back into the game. No, having no joy whatsoever. And unfortunately, it does look like we're going to have to take a quick break. So we'll try and get that fixed and bring you the rest of the game as soon as we can. Apologies for that. It's just technology sometimes lets us down. Unfortunately, we've been bombed out of the game and can't seem to get back into it. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, hopefully we'll get the final few rounds of this first map in the grand final of the RaidCall EMS 1. We'll be right back. Control advert.
Wusstest du, dass Spotify Premium besser klingt als unser kostenfreier Service? Warum probierst du Spotify Premium nicht einfach mal aus? Kostenlos, 30 Tage lang. Aktiviere in den Einstellungen einfach Streaming mit hoher Qualität und schon ist der Sound besser. Klicke auf das Banner, um Spotify Premium 30 Tage lang gratis zu testen.
Okay, looks like we are about to get back underway. You haven't missed any of the action. We are back into the game now, and just trying to reorientate really. It's 15-11 right now. Epsilon on the verge of victory in this first map of a best-of-3 grand final. And for those complaining about the weight, nothing to do with us. One of the players drops, we have to wait for him to come back. Simple as that. You wouldn't want it played 4v5. Weird. Right now, Zelos and Asmo exchanging a killer piece. And It's 4 versus 4. It's now been given the advantage by Jesper. SMN replies back. They're just trading kills backwards and forwards right now as that bomb gets planted on the bomb site. Lox and Schneider are in that bomb site right now. SMN just flying away. Disruptor trying to pick up one as well. SMN does pick up the headshot, and now we've got the 3 versus 1, and Schneider is going to drop, and it's not going to make any difference. So yeah, so they lagged out. So that was the pause. They paused, obviously, and then it happened to us. So 15-12 is the score to Epsilon, and now we get the new round underway. That's just where we've caught back up to the game. And we are back underway, and Schneider and Lox both having dropped, so that's bad news for Epsilon. They've both been money screwed as well, so I hate that. Yeah, so console are going to fix prize money, so start money rather, so that's good. And they won't do that just yet, I wouldn't have thought. So 15-12, and Faculty were down and out in this game, and somehow have made their way back into it. And now Epsilon, aided by a couple of drops, have found themselves annoyingly on the back foot, but Schneider and Lox both dropped again in this round. Not dropped from the server, but dropped in terms of gunshots. Jesper replying back on Asmo, does pick up the frag as well. Coming out of fire here is Mantis right at the back of the bomb site, on the inner bomb site. It is 2 versus 3, but Zelos only has 4 points of health. Mantis has to throw away the AWP. First kill comes in from Disruptors to make the way towards this bomb site. Flusher replies back though, and it's now a 2 versus 1, and Flusher on the back of the bomb site, on his own, Disruptor on his own now, trying to dance around this bomb. The bomb is ticking down, and surely this is going to be a round win for Epsilon. And the game, is it? Yes, it is! Flusher nails the final kill of the round, and Epsilon finally shut themselves down to win 16-12 on Train. Our first map is finally complete after what seemed like an absolute eternity. No, that's not me. Let's do that one. There we go. That's me. And welcome back. Sorry that was a bit messy. We had no idea what was going on for a while there, but it seemed like I'd crashed. Then I didn't crash. Then someone else dropped as well. So it's just how it goes sometimes. We live in the age of internet, and sometimes internet is a bit flaky, no matter where we are. So well done, Epsilon. Finally picking up that last round that they needed to win 16-12, and move on to Mirage in just a few moments' time. And in the meantime, let me bore you with some more alternative rock from my lovely playlist on Spotify. I know how much you love that, guys, out there. You can also follow me on Spotify as well. It's ShapeThrower99. Booyah. I've no idea why I picked that name. Ridiculous name. But anyway, if you want the playlist and you like that kind of rock, then feel free to add me, and you can follow all the playlists that we put up on that particular Spotify as well. So the second map will be coming up fairly shortly. It will be Mirage, which is in Faculty's choice. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. It almost seems a shame to cut Chevelle off in their prime, but that's exactly what we're going to do because the players finally are all on the server. Asmo just had a few issues with the internet, so unfortunately had to fix those before he could come back on. But they are now fixed, I'm glad to say. Mantis then said that he needed to go and have a toilet break. Typical, isn't it? Anyway, he looks like he's back as well, so I'm going to drop you into the game now, and hopefully... Well, not that one. Hopefully, that's better. That's the sound of gunfire. I like the other sound better, frankly. Nothing against CSGO, but Chevelle rocks. So yeah, it's on my Twitter right now. If you want to follow any of the playlists that are on Spotify, you can do that via my Spotify name, which is ShapeThrower99. Don't ask. I can't remember why I chose that. Throwing shapes since 1865. If you are just joining us, by the way, and you're thinking, what the heck is all this nonsense Red Eye's going on about? We're just passing the time while we're waiting for the start of this second map. If you have missed it, you've missed a bit of a cracker, actually. The first map ending 16-12 to Epsilon in the end. And we now move on to map 2. That was on Train, by the way, which was Epsilon's choice. We're now on map 2, which is Mirage, which was chosen by N Faculty. And if you weren't with us even earlier, well, you missed a cracker as well, because then Faculty took down the world champions in the semi-final, Ninjas in Pyjamas. And I have to say, if you don't already follow him, go and follow Get Right on Facebook. He's recently just posted that maybe it's good for them to lose now and again. He was very gracious in defeat and said then Faculty played really well, and that he hoped that they would go on to win the tournament. He's such a great guy. I love players that wear their emotions on their sleeves, and Christopher certainly does. And I think it's great that when he does lose occasionally, and let's face it, it's not that often, he can be gracious about it as well. So nice stuff from Chris, and we'll see Ninjas in Pyjamas again, I'm sure, throughout this cup. They need the points, otherwise you don't get through to the playoff stages. These aren't qualifiers, by the way. Each one is its own cup in its own right, so you get a little mark against you that you've won a cup. And this is RaidCall EMS 1 Week 1. But you also get some ranking points, which is what we're all talking about to go through to the playoffs. So they'll help as well. I talked completely over the knife round because I was completely disinterested. I don't know whether... I actually didn't get any feedback from you guys on whether you liked the bowler hat, tea drinking Englishman way of casting the knife round, or whether you prefer the horse racing version. I don't know. But that one's done and dusted. And SMN says stay. So we are going to see Epsilon start on CT side Mirage. And they're ready. Epsilon leading 1-0 overall, and that was a 16-12 victory on Train, on their map choice as well. Made a little bit of hard work towards the end of it, but they were pretty much in control until the drops. And you have to wonder sometimes, how big of a deal, how much did that affect the other team? Because it's not always the team that has the drops that are affected by pauses. Sometimes it's the other team who are just starting to build some momentum and get the wind taken out of their sails. No wind taken out of this man's sails. Jesper goes running in towards that A bomb site, and inside the bomb site does pick up the first kill of the round. Flush was in there too to get the second. Jesper picks off the third in the little hole in the wall. Zelos the fourth. This is brilliant. Absolutely flawless from Zelos and from Epsilon. They didn't lose a single player. In fact, Flush was down to 1 point of health, but they just steamrolled at M Faculty on the pistol rounds. Now that's 3 out of 3. Is it? No, actually pistols were both, sorry, my mistake, both were N Faculty last time round. Actually that's the first time Epsilon have taken a pistol in the grand final. They only took one of the two against Imaginary Gaming in the semi-finals as well, so good pistol round from Epsilon. Zelos, where did that come from? Just a spin 180 headshot. Nothing. No problem whatsoever. And there's a P90 in play as well. This is this interesting set of buys. They've got 2 P90s in play here as well. Schneider's also got one with Flusher. Schneider using it very effectively against Mantis. Another underrated weapon, can be used. Might not be a primary choice, but when cash is limited, it's a valuable alternative. A value for money alternative, some might say as well. Bomb planted. 4 versus 2. They finally lost a man in the round, which is Jesper. We're with Schneider right now, who's also down to just 13 points of health. So there's 2 low on health, 1 half white, but SMN is going to choose to save his weapon this time round. I love Schneider. Such a fun guy as well. What is it with Swedes? And SMN did pick up 1 kill on Xenox, so a little bit more expensive than perhaps it should have been for Epsilon, but second round and the anti-eco in play working okay for the Swedes, who've turned into Germans, by the way, according to the server, and now are playing Swedes who are on. In fact, I'm not quite sure what's going on, but we'll fix the flags at some point. There we go. Now they're both Swedish. This is more fun than actually what's going on in the server right now. HE comes in from Jesper. Schneider replies back with P90 as well to make it 2 for 1 in that little exchange that they've just had. And we will finally get away from that. And Schneider with this P90 doing a little bit of damage. Flush has also picked himself up a kill in there as well. And they were holding mid, but have decided that they're going to rotate here and go back towards B, I think. Lox has got himself another one. Mantis surely is going down under fire from 2 players inside the A-bomb site. And that'll be 3-0. And now it's game on. Now it's time to buy. And it's going to be a rebuy for Epsilon for 2 players who've now got themselves AKs. Flush is going to keep his P90, and Lox is going to load out with an AWP. And we're going up against a fairly standard looking 5-man M4 setup as far as M faculty are concerned. And SMN is the first man to break cover. Zelos replying back to pick up the frag on Kirby. And here comes Zelos. Oh, well, baited into the shot really, but Asmo can pick up the frag. And the Germans now have a 4 versus 3 advantage here. Can they push it home for the first round of this second map? They're already 1-0 down. And there goes the flash over the top. Just as we switched away, unfortunately, Mantis did pick up the kill on Flusher. Schneider replies back. It's 3 versus 2 again. This tit for tat right now. And Lox appropriately locking down Disruptor with that AWP. It's a slightly unfair battle, that one. Lox now trying to make his way to rotate just behind them, but there is actually 1 player down there, so then has to go back for the bomb man, and now does have that cover. So Mantis is the man waiting just inside the bomb site. He's been left to cover this A site, and Flash comes over the top. Schneider now making his way out towards that bomb site. They've given away their position though, and you know what? Mantis might just fill his boots here. This is very similar to what we saw against Nip. And Schneider and Lox, look, both of them. Neither of them know he's there, and he will pick up both shots. QK Mantis, brilliantly placed, waited very, very patiently indeed, and wins his team the round. 3-1. Nice piece of play by Mantis. So 3-1 overall. Got a 3-2 split going on right now. Let's check scoreboard right now for the score. Schneider 5 and 2 at the top of his. SMN is 4 and 4 for his team at the top of the table as Lox opens things up with a frag on Disruptor. I like that little shot. That's a nice little trick shot down there from Xenos on Asmo. Often catches players out. The other one is just standing below that. Oh, Orp was trained perfectly over the top of Mantis, over the top of Jasper, but Jasper's the man that wins that battle. Despite the power disadvantage they faced at the time. It won't matter any more because Lox and Jasper will finish things off, and Epsilon increase their lead back to 3 with a 4-1 lead. In fact, we just don't want to let too many of these rounds out of their sight because Epsilon will just cruise through to win the game otherwise. And in fact, you just have to remember how much resistance they put up on that first map. It was 16-12 in the end. despite the fact that it was Epsilon's choice. And look at that, flusher. That's lovely. Picked up one. It's actually 4 versus 3 right now, and in fact, in the deficit position. Oh, Flusher's been heavily tagged, down to 21 health actually, and Disruptor, who is on an eco after all. They've done quite well here, you know. If they can pick up another couple of kills, they can with Esmo down middle, and they're now going to get a couple of guns here as well. And suddenly this has turned into a 3 versus 3, and it's not quite clear cut yet, although Epsilon are starting to make their way towards that bomb site and plant at the A site. They've got 2 men onto the site right now. Flash comes round the corner on Mantis. Schneider is going to get dropped by Mantis anyway, and it's now a 3 versus 2. This is on, you know. Faculty with a chance to retake this bomb site. Still no gun for Mantis. It's now 2 versus 1, and Zelos is the last man to try and defend this. Round the corner, Mantis is going to run round. Brilliant from Mantis, through the box at the same time. Hasn't got a kit here. This actually could be quite close, you know. Should be okay. Just about okay. Right on the buzzer, right at the end of it. And a great round from Mantis. He's managed to win that one on an eco with 2 really clever kills. Get himself an AWP and the defuse, and in faculty get the round. I think he basically just hit the jackpot in Vegas. Very disappointing for Epsilon, though, that's for sure. And already Mantis has used that AWP very, very effectively indeed to pick out Flusher. And it's their own fault. They gave him that AWP, free of charge. It is at least a 1-for-1 as Disruptors managed to pick up a frag, been dropped as well. And SMN now replies back in to pick up the frag on Schneider, so they have the advantage here. Kirby over the far side, just waiting. Lox actually picks up a really, really good headshot on SMN in that A site. Kirby's over at the B right now, and we're matched up at 3 versus 3. Very critical round, this one. Nicely poised here. 4-2 in favour of Epsilon in map number 2. 16-12 winners from map 1 in the grand final of the first cup in the RaidCall EMS 1. Kirby starting to come under fire as Xenos tried to make his way in. That flash is going to go round the corner. It's not going to be a good flash though, and Kirby will pick up the frag on Xenos. They'll now get this bomb planted over at the A bomb site though. That was a distraction, but it's a 3 versus 2. Personnel in favour of M Faculty here. If they can just push this forward in towards the bomb site. The other 2 players they're facing are quite low right now. In fact, Lox and Jesper, how have they managed to do that? They've managed to pick up 2 frags apiece. It's now a 1 versus 1. Oh, brilliant from Jesper. Spot on shot with the AWP. And Epsilon claim the round in round number 7 to retake the lead 5-2. Shouldn't have been able to work that. They were always a man down, and it didn't seem to matter. Schneider starting things off with the AWP. The first one of the round. It's a very split team. Look at it. It's all over the map right now. They've just got those 2 mids. Xenos holding back. But it's working well for them. Lox and Jesper pick up a headshot apiece, and that'll be easy for Schneider. Admittedly on the eco, but 6-2 now Epsilon. And they really do start to look like the favourites of claiming the first ever RaidCall EMS 1. They need 10 more rounds, having already won map 1. So 4-1 split this time, 4 going towards the A bomb site. Just a quick check of the scoreboard. Lox is dominating, 10-3. Jesper 9-4. Xenos here has the bomb. So the push to the other bomb site looks like it might well be a fake. They are starting to rotate back round as Jesper comes under a bit of an attack in those mid-tunnels. Reasonably well-placed grenade. Doesn't really do anything from him though. And here come the set smokes into the A bomb site. Fake or move? Looks like it might well be move. Lox looking for the headshot pick across the wrap with that AWP and does take it out as well. 4 men now trying to move in towards this bomb site in A. And Schneider's got himself a headshot. Asmo, though, Mantis start to reply back for End Faculty here. And it's a 3 versus 3 with the bomb planted. Pressure switches across to End Faculty now. 6-2 down. Got to take a round back soon. Fox waiting patiently. And lands the pixel-perfect shot through the gap. 2 down. 2 more to find. Mantis and Kirby are the last 2 remaining. One man towards the bomb site is actually Kirby going on towards that bomb site right now. Is going to get sprayed down by Zelos. Nicely played. And this one is a 3 versus 1 now. And Mantis is just going to wait for some exit kills. Picks up 1. Won't get the second. Flusher cleans house. And Epsilon Gaming stretch their legs at last. They must be sighing with relief. They lead 7-2. Split this time round. Just a quick check on that scoreboard once more. Mantis 8-7. The only man really putting up decent resistance. Locks 12-3 as a double grenade comes flying to the feet of SMN, and he'll just going to easily drop down. There you go. Dropped in behind the box. Schneider and Zelos should be able to pick themselves up another one here. Zelos actually picks himself up one round the corner as Mantis tries to fake a flash, but it was actually a smoke. Not going to fall for that one in a month of Sundays. Disruptor now, on site, dropped by Jesper. Kirby now last man standing. They've got to find some resistance from somewhere, and they're not getting it from anywhere right now. Epsilon are absolutely rolling through the Germans. It's 8-2. Difficult to know where they can change things up, really. In Faculty, things just not going right for them right now. And to put their win into perspective over Ninjas in Pyjamas, you have to wonder what might Epsilon have done. Really good showing. Asmo and SMN have actually switched an advantage here. This one could be good for In fact, very good. SMN with yet another kill in the round. 2 apiece for Asmo and SMN. Can they finish off the last man? Yes, they can. Nicely done from Asmo this time. And a little bit of overconfidence perhaps that time round from Epsilon. Tried something a little bit different, and it hasn't worked out. They've got rounds to spare, though. They lead 8-3 on T-side Mirage. As we were saying before, it's Locks, Jesper and Schneider who are hauling the frags up the scoreboard for now. Zelos just trying to make his way towards B, 2 in mid, and SMN has actually pushed really quickly here, picks up the first and the second. Jesper replies back, Mantis will come back round for the revenge frag, and Epsilon suddenly find themselves 4v2. Asmo knows there's a man up there, keeps that all trained, and lands a very good shot indeed. Had to move as he was moving too, which made it a slightly more awkward shot to take. And now it's AWP versus AWP here. Locks knows he's going to be flanked and does land the shot. 1 down, 3 to go. Easy, right? Yeah, right. Bomb is up on Locks as well, so if he fancies going for this, they've got cash. Although, I don't know, this one could be quite awkward. Mantis waiting for him to appear into that A-bomb site. He's also going to get shot from behind, across from the walkway, which is where Kirby's looking right now. Oh, he spied him, and he will have called that. So this should be GG as far as Faculty are concerned in this round. Locks is creeping towards that bomb site though, and there it is. Mantis perfectly placed and in position, ready to pop out and pick up the frag. So Faculty pull one back to make it 8-4, and this isn't quite as runaway as it was 2 rounds ago. Good resistance from Faculty. 7-2 a while ago, in fact 8-2 at one point. Is now 8-4. Epsilon on a bye. Entirely sure whether that'll be the last one. We've got a 3-man push down mid already. Very quick push indeed, and already up one of the ramps. Mantis is going to be lying in wait for them now. If they can find this inside this bomb site, they have got one. Locks replies back though. Zelos now trying to make his way over towards that A bomb site, and he's cleared inside the site. They have cleared out that side area and the balcony as well, but haven't managed to get the bomb carrier quite onto position as Asmo picks out Flusher in CT spawn. Bomb now gets planted. And it's a 3 versus 3. Anyone's round. Locks for 1. Disruptor replies back. It's now 2 versus 2. Jesper in for another one now. Can they pick off Asmo? Will be the last man standing. No, he picks off Locks for a 2-man in this round. It's going to have to be a 3-man if he wants to make it. It's now a 1 versus 1. And Asmo completely flashed out to the back of the site. Oh, isn't able to land it. And actually, it's Jasper that comes up trumps with his second of the round. And Epsilon now restore their 5-round lead. 9-4. 2 of the half remaining, and Epsilon need 7 more rounds to pick up their first major online trophy. They've played in some minor cups and won some minor cups as well, but really making a statement if they can beat N Faculty here after they knocked out Ninjas in Pyjamas. Start things off with Locks. Mantis now across the other side will put a really smart headshot in on Locks. 1 for 1 so far. And Zelos was being chased back into that little room. And Kirby and Mantis with a double. And Faculty are just not done just yet. They won't lie down. We saw this against Nip earlier on as well. They showed plenty of resistance even when they were behind. Flusher now the last man alive, trying to edge his way into the A-bomb site. Mantis just has 3 points of health, so they do have sort of 2.5 versus 1. Flusher with full stack of health here. Flusher's gone over towards mid to try and distract them, and that's flushed out Kirby, and he will get his head taken off his shoulders. And Flusher with 1 down, 2 to find now, and he's found the other one, and you know what this is on? Mantis has only got 3 points of health, and Flusher is on the verge of clutching a 3 versus 1 now. And jumps up in the air, just got away with it. He might not have got away with it if Mantis had had any more health than 3 points. But Flusher clutches a 3v1. How big could that prove to be? What a tipping point that was as well. Epsilon now lead 10-4. Could so easily have been 9-5. And then maybe have headed to half-time at 9-6. As it is, that might just prove to be the difference between these two teams when it all shakes down. Flusher now going to move out to that mid-area. Asmo was just running straight out at him and pulled off the headshot. Schneider's in there as well. Jasper picks off another one. And for some reason, we're not just changing camera anymore. I don't quite know why. But we're not. Mantis, one dig into the head of Zelos. See ya. And it's a 1v1. Another 1v1. A big round for M Faculty right now. Mantis has to clutch. Locks making his way over towards that bomb site. You know what? They're going to come very, very close indeed. Another one shot from Mantis. Doesn't land this time. An exchange of grenades between the two. Another shot unleashed. Locks down to 56 points of health. Locks will get that bomb planted though, and that'll give him the advantage. But here comes the flash. Didn't make any difference. And now Mantis chipped away with his health there. Chips away another bit of health. Down to 12 points now. Smoke in on the bomb. That's a bit of a weird choice. It doesn't matter though. Locks clutches the round. And yet another 1v1 goes the way of Epsilon. They lead at half-time 11-4. So we're going to take a very, very quick break, and when we come back we'll have the whole of the second half of this second map. Don't go anywhere. Okay, welcome back. We weren't going to take a very big break there, and we are back into the game. If you do want to get hold of me on Twitter, make sure you @ message me. Leave your comments, both positive and negative, and we'll listen to you and make improvements for next week. And this second half is back underway in the RaidCall EMS 1 Grand Final. Zelos and Jesper kicking things off nicely for Epsilon. Lox has picked up a fourth here, and Epsilon are just slicing through them like a hot knife through butter. 5 out of 5 without a single point of health remaining for the N faculty players, and not a single point removed from the Epsilon team. They now lead 12-4 on the back of an 11-4 half on Mirage. They need just 4 more rounds to win and claim the RaidCall EMS 1 Week 1 trophy. $600 up for grabs for the winners, $300 for second and $100 for third. And on top of that, 100 ranking points as well. Excuse me. Max 7 just coming out massively here for Flusher. He's going to get a double. And is that a third? Yes, it is, through the smoke, a third. And he actually had 1 point of health remaining that round, but no kills again for N faculty. So we're going to get a third consecutive round of no bite, which, as long as Epsilon don't get anti-stratted here, should mean they're 14-4 up, with just 2 remaining to claim the title. Jesper decides he's going to go all awkward through the mid, but it's not awkward at all. He's picked up the first one of the round, headshot in on Asmo. Lox is slightly caught out here, but does pick up the first one. Couldn't get the second one with that FAMAS, but it doesn't matter. He picked it up with the pistol anyway, and Zelox in for the fourth. They've got another man down to 2 health this time round, but still no kills for N faculty, and Mantis is now the last man alive. And they've done a sum total of 197 damage in 3 rounds. Have N faculty, which just isn't enough by a long way. Flusher just trying to flush out his man. We're going for the knife kill here for Mantis! But not going to happen, point blank range. Shotgun from Flusher. And you know what? Even though they're down and almost out, nice to see Mantis playing the game and having a bit of fun. Went for the knife. Got a face full of shotty. Epsilon 2 away then from claiming this first RaidCall EMS 1. After a fantastic bracket both yesterday and today. We've seen surprises, we've seen shocks, we've seen blowouts, we've seen pretty much every kind of game you could possibly imagine. And some fantastic action, that's for sure. Zelos now in towards the bomb site, picks up 1 and 2 in that site. Only Disruptor and SMN actually picks up this second of the round. And now in faculty, maybe they're coming alive towards the end of this round. 1 versus 1 now, it's Flusher versus SMN. Again, Flusher, last man alive for his team to clutch the round. SMN now, with just 42 points of health, has an idea of where Flusher is. And he doesn't have the shotgun this time round. They are going to come face to face any moment now. SMN's creeping round the corner, goes for the headshot and clutches the round. And keeps his team in with a striking chance of making the mother of all comebacks. It's Epsilon 14 and Faculty 5. And I think that's the first 1v1 clutch that in Faculty have won in this game so far. Can't remember the last one they made, yet they did so well in their previous match. Epsilon, though, have been brilliant in the 1v1s. Although there was a 3v1 on the last half, of course, for N faculty. Whoops, Flusher has been... I'm going to say this, and he can quite rightly call me out on Twitter if he wants, but he's been absolutely awful with flashes tonight. That's at least the third one I've seen where he's blinded himself. And I almost said blounded, which would have been slightly awkward. So Epsilon move to match point. And they also move to championship point this week. 15-5, 10 championship points. It's game on now for the Swedes. They aren't the Swedes you thought you'd get, but they're the Swedes you deserve. 15-5 up in the grand final in the second map, having won the opening one 16-12. Lock starts things off to give them a 5 versus 4. And faculty not putting up the kind of resistance we were hoping for in this second half, although SMN certainly is the one-man army putting up that defence. It's Jesper that lands the first shot. Disruptor now having to back away. It's 3 versus 4. As equalising things up. They have got the bomb planted here as well, but Schneider replying back now. It's a 3 versus 2. Sean, it's going to be 3 versus 1 any moment. No, Mantis wins that back, but Jester comes back in on it, and it's 2 versus 1. Disruptor now, the last man alive to stay alive for the game. It's not going to happen. They're going to get the defuse and the kill. Congratulations, Epsilon Gaming. 16-5 winners in the second map, and congratulations to them. Fantastic way of finishing off the game to clutch that final round and get the defuse. And Epsilon are your champions of the first ever RaidCall EMS 1. What a wonderful way to finish it off. Also, congratulations to M Faculty. Brilliant game earlier on this evening against NIP, which I'm sure we'll see Ninjas in Pyjamas back again at some point throughout this EMS 1, and hopefully pick up enough ranking points to make it through to the playoffs. Because that's what it's all about. Tonight, though, belongs to just one team. They were fantastic all the way through, and they have picked up the opening championship in the RaidCall EMS 1. Well done to Epsilon. So that's just about it now. We are finished for the evening, and hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Hope it hasn't been too sloppy on the production skills. My frail hands make light work of production units, and obviously it's difficult with all those buttons over there. I don't really want to go too close to them. Hopefully next week we'll be back with Joe Miller and myself for more action from the RaidCall EMS 1. Thank you very much for tuning in. Epsilon Gaming are your first week champions.